Hello everyone. In today's video I would like to talk about this fly. Definitely way out of my comfort zone, and I'm preparing myself for the trip to Maldives. Hopefully I will go there in March, and I'm getting ready for the fish over there, and I was told that I should use smaller shrimp patterns if I want to catch any bonefish over there. So smaller flies, smaller shrimps, crabs and stuff. So this is a shrimp I'm gonna tie for myself, and it's very easy one, and I'm gonna lead you step by step through what I think are important steps here. One of the things that I added here, I haven't noticed that people are doing it, but I think it may be interesting. It gives some contrast, but more importantly, gives more rigidness to the fly. It's more, I hope it's more resilient, resistant to the teeth of the fish over there. Not bonefish, but triggerfish for sure can destroy your fly. So that's something I'm going to try to improve this fly with. Another reason why I did this UV resin here is because when I'm using lighter bead chain eyes, this will help kill the fly, let it sink, because this is less resistant, so it will always invert the fly properly when it sinks down. So that these are my ideas. Obviously rubber legs are here to give some movement and life. Almost translucent dubbing is here to give some like camouflage there, and those flies over there are all in light colors, so I'm just trying to match the hatch. So let's start with Gamakatsu with already 3mm bead chain, not bead chain, sorry, dumbbell eyes in the vise. Gamakatsu is S13S, but it's size 8, not 4. I don't have box anymore because I use them all. I'll use GSP thread. This one is by Vivas. I usually wax the thread before I start, so it goes like this. It's very easy and straightforward fly. They told me always add something orange, so to do that it's going to be something like spawning shrimp. So I'm just gonna add some wool that has some UV flash inside, and I'm just going to add it on the bend of the hook. I want to keep all the materials from this side of the hook, inner side of the hook. I want to make it more bulky from this side and keep this upper side of the shank as smooth as possible, so I will help my fly ride properly in the water. As you'll see, it's not a big deal to tie this fly. I'll just cut this and make it like a tuft. You can taper it if you want. I did some tapering, some without. I don't think it will matter much because there will be a lot of dubbing over it. Now I will use the same wool that I've been using for this tag to add a little ball of dubbing here by the end, and that ball of dubbing will help me with the eyes. So I'll keep this with a soft wrap and then pull the opposite direction, soft, so I prevent it from rolling around. I'm talking about this ball, this tag end. Now when I have this ball made over here, when I'm satisfied with it, I'll stop, but I would like to add more. I like kind of emphasizing the size of this ball because it will help me a lot with my next step. So I'm just trying to make it, I just twisted it a little bit, but not a big deal. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, now I pre-made those shrimp eyes because most of them I could find were quite huge, and instead of using huge eyes on this, oversized, I just used some mono, 20 lbs mono. I burnt it with lighter to just make a little bit of ball. When it got cool, I dipped it into UV glue, torched it with UV light fast, and then because I don't have black varnish, I just colored the tip of the ball with marker and then dipped it again. So this is what I came up with. And I keep it one piece of mono for 2 eyes, just for it's easier to store it. But before tying in, I'll just keep it like this. Now, the mono has curve, and I want to keep that curve away from the hook. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna keep it like that. Soft wraps, couple of soft wraps, and then tighten everything up. And as you tighten it towards the ball, orange ball, you will see that this mono will actually go even more away from the hook. It will split. Okay, I got some fibers along the way. You can keep these mono extensions if they are long enough here, and then just fold them back and make some weed guards. I'll show you that in a second when I'm doing the second eye. Okay, now as I was saying, you can keep this around here. I'm just speeding things up, and then when you finish the fly, you just push it, cut it to length, and you have your weed guard in place. That's one of the ways to do it. It's just a thought here. I'm not doing any weed guards. I was always kind of, I don't know, against them for some reason. I'm thinking that maybe I will have less hookups. Now, the dubbing. The dubbing I think looks great, not only for shrimps, but also maybe for some nymphs. So how I prepared this dubbing is I used some beaver dubbing. I used some, also by Hemingway's, some standard dubbing. I lost the label, so I'm sorry, I don't know the name, but they're both in tan, but different structure and different shades. I was just mixing something up, and then I added some old ice dub in UV tan color by Hairline. Much better product before than it is now, to be honest, because it has finer fibers. I'll just cover this up a little bit. And I'll add some legs. The reason why I'm covering this up is because when I add legs, there will be no super big pressure over the legs, so I don't cut the legs so easily, because these legs and GSP, so if you do it too much and let's say if you squeeze it too much, you can cut through legs. That's something I don't want to do. So I just took one length of leg, I fold it in two, and now I have 2 legs. Yeah, I'll just go a little bit down. I'll take those 2 tips, align them, and then I'll just go over the hook and kind of center everything down. 2 legs go from one side of the hook point, 2 legs go from the other side, and now with relatively soft wraps, I'm just leading those towards the hook bend and over the dubbing. Yeah. Now, when I come to this point, I'll just kind of snug those legs behind those eyes, because those eyes will keep them where they belong. And then I'll just go and move it a little bit more, but with much softer wraps. Okay, if you squeeze it too much, they will flare. Now, longer finish, just in case. From time to time you can add some super glue drop, but I don't think it's that necessary. Now, I'll take a little pinch of this, not a big, and I'll try to kind of align the tips, make those fibers parallel to each other, kind of even them up a little bit. Not a super important thing, but like even them up if you can. And then spin the bobbin holder counterclockwise, and then just lead the thread over it. Kind of half-half, 50-50 separation, and then push one strand to one side and then just do the same with the other one. And I like to remove the hook from the vise to kind of do this. Okay, and then I'll just add some dubbing here. Adding dubbing here will hide any thread wraps that you don't want them to be seen, and it will kind of blend this point part of the shrimp with the rest. It will make kind of nice taper. And I notice that like when I'm tying those saltwater flies, I'm using a lot of dubbing compared to dry flies. I mean, size is definitely different. Anyway, the rear part I'm dubbing a little bit more loosely, and I'm adding more dubbing to it. Okay. The reason for that is I will brush it out as I go. So now I'm gonna pack it with kind of less dubbing. I'm tapering it towards the eyes, and as I'm going forward, I'm putting less and less dubbing, almost like dry fly dubbing, like small amounts, and I have more control over the shape, over the dubbing noodle, over everything. So yeah, that's it. And as you can see, I'm overlapping dubbing very often because I'm creating a shape. That's why it's important that you have very thin dubbing noodle. But because you're making a bigger fly compared to the nymphs that I've been making for such a long time, you don't have to be super careful about application of dubbing, especially because we're going to brush it out a lot. Now crisscross hiding this spot, but you will notice that this spot is not hidden, so I'll have to apply more dubbing here and crisscross again and crisscross around the eyes and stuff like that, and just make it look more nice and hide those eyes that are actually not eyes as much as I can. I mean, I could have used some silver, but I like this color. I'll just add a little bit more dubbing here now, around the eyes, and then just hide this here. I'll add a little bit more and we're finished. And the final step is to apply some UV resin, which there is a trick to it. Okay, this is more than good. I mean, you can see those cross wraps. But like, I'm not gonna do too much bulk here. Now, we're finishing. Squeaky bobbin. One. Pull it tight. And two. Now, the whip finish knot I'm securing with super glue. I was trying to do it with UV. All those hairs and UV is not viscose enough, so I prefer to do like it's messes up with all the hairs. So I think this super glue is way to go, because I'm just tripping that if I catch a fish such as a triggerfish, it will destroy whip finish easily if I don't put some super glue on it. So I'm doing this. That's it. Now take your Velcro and brush this fly bottom up. That's the first step. Brush it bottom up. This is kind of direct the sinking direction of your fly. You're also removing all the fibers out of the way. Trying to swipe it down to have as little hair sticking out as possible. Now, this looks like nothing at the moment, but in a second it will look great, I think. Now, I'm using UV glue that I made a video about recently, and that's it. And I'm waiting. Waiting is the key. You will notice that the color changes over there as it soaks. Don't let it soak too much because it will change and deform. Now it's good. It's soaked enough. Now you'll maybe notice some smoking because of the lamp. Okay, it's very hot and it's very hard and not tacky. What I realized is, look at the lamp, look at those marks here. It's 365 nanometers or whatever, I don't know these measurements, and it's also 60 watts, and that's something that I think I was researching online about strength of UV light, which cures the best the UV, and I found out that this cures the fastest and like more rapid than others, so it's more extreme. And it, as you can see, this is quite a thick layer of UV, but it's like, it's very firm, and it's literally like plastic right now. So I got this lamp, and yeah, it's amazing lamp. Watch your eyes right now. Now just do some final combing. Comb it a little bit both ways. You will see that here looks like it's like literally like hairs and everything on the nymph and stuff, but this is not. This is too long here. So this is a shrimp. So I'm just gonna pull out the longest ones, and now this is a finished fly, and I think it looks quite great. Nice silhouette. It's keeling down there, and I hope it will catch me some bonefish. So guys, wish me luck. Until next time, keep safe and tight lines.